Hello everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to dive into a really important part of Python called Object-Oriented Programming, or OOP for short. Think of OOP as a way to organize your code. Instead of just writing lines of instructions, you create blueprints for things. These blueprints are called classes. A class is like a recipe for creating something. For example, you could have a dog class. This class would define what all dogs have, like a name and a breed, and what all dogs can do, like bark or wag their tail. It's a general template for any dog you might want to create in your program. Now, once you have a class, you can create actual individual objects from that blueprint. These objects are often called instances of the class. So, if our class is dog, we could create an object named my_dog from that class. This specific dog might have the name Buddy and the breed Golden Retriever. We could also create another object named your_dog with the name Lucy and the breed Poodle. Both my_dog and your_dog are instances of the dog class, but they are separate objects with their own specific details. This is a powerful way to manage data in your programs. So, where do methods fit into all of this? Methods are simply functions that belong to a class. They define the behaviors or actions that an object created from that class can perform. Going back to our dog class, an action like barking would be a method. So we could have a bark method inside our dog class. This allows us to make our objects do things. We could call the bark method on our my_dog object, and it would perform that action. Without methods, our objects would just be containers for data. But with methods, they come to life and can interact with the rest of our program. Understanding methods is a huge step in mastering Python. They are the verbs of our classes, the actions that make our programs dynamic and useful. When you create a class, you're not just thinking about what data it holds, but also what it can do. This is a fundamental concept in object-oriented programming. In the next sections, we'll break down the different types of methods you can create: instance methods, class methods, and static methods. Each one has a specific purpose, and knowing when to use each will make your code much cleaner and more logical. Let's get started. Let's start with the most common type of method you'll encounter, the instance method. As the name suggests, these methods operate on an instance of a class. This means they can access and modify the specific data of an object. When you define an instance method inside a class, the very first argument is always self. This self keyword is a reference to the instance itself. It's how the method knows which object it's supposed to work with. For example, if we call a method on my_dog, self will refer to the my_dog object. This allows the method to access data like my_dog.name. Let's look at a simple example. Imagine we have a car class. Each car we create will have its own specific color and mileage. We can use an instance method to get information about a particular car. The method needs self so it knows which car's details to access. We could create a method called display_info. This method would use self to access the color and mileage attributes of that specific car instance and then print them out. It's tied directly to the object. Here's what that might look like in code. We define our car class with a method to set up the color and mileage for each new car object. Then we add our instance method, display_info. Notice it takes self as its first parameter. This allows it to access self.color and self.mileage. When we create a car like my_car equals car with red and 50,000, and then call my_car.display_info, the method knows it needs to use the information from the my_car object. Python automatically passes the instance as the self argument for us. So to put it simply, you use an instance method whenever you need to do something with the unique attributes of a specific object. If the action you want to perform depends on the object's own data, like its name, age, color, or any other state, then an instance method is the right tool for the job. They are the workhorses of object-oriented programming in Python, allowing each object to have its own distinct behavior based on its own distinct data. This is why you will see them used more than any other type of method. Now let's talk about class methods. Unlike instance methods, class methods are bound to the class itself, not to a specific instance or object. This means they can't access instance-specific data like self.name. Instead, they operate on the class as a whole. To tell Python that a method is a class method, you put a special marker called a decorator right above it, at class method. The first argument of a class method is conventionally named CLS, which is a reference to the class itself. Think of CLS for class methods like self for instance methods. So, when would you use a class method? A common use case is for creating factory methods. These are methods that create instances of the class using some alternative way. For example, let's say we have a person class, and we usually create a person with a name and age. But what if we want to create a person from their birth year? We could create a class method called from_birth_year. This method would take the class CLS, a name, and a birth year. It would then calculate the age and use CLS with name and age to create and return a new instance of the person class. Next up, we have static methods. These are the simplest of the three. A static method doesn't have access to the instance self or the class CLS. It's essentially just a regular function that is placed inside a class because it's logically related to that class. You mark a method as static using the @static method decorator. Since it doesn't take self or CLS, it can't modify the object state or the class's state. It's a self-contained utility function. You might use a static method for a helper function that does something related to the class, but doesn't need any class or instance data. Let's say in our person class, we want to check if someone is an adult based on their age. We could create a static method called is_adult. This method would just take an age as an argument and return true if the age is 18 or over, and false otherwise. It doesn't need to know about a specific person or the person class itself. It just performs a simple check. It belongs in the person class because it's related to the concept of a person. So, let's quickly summarize the key differences to help you remember which method to use. An instance method is your default choice. It needs self as its first argument and can access and modify an object's individual state. If your method needs to know an object's specific details, like a car's color or a person's name, you should use an instance method. This is the most common type of method, and it's what you'll be writing most of the time when you work with classes in Python. It's all about the instance. A class method, marked with @class method, is different. It takes CLS as its first argument, which refers to the class itself. It can't access instance-specific data, but it can work with class-level data or be used as a factory to create instances in a different way. Think of it this way. If the method is about the class as a whole, like counting how many objects have been created or providing an alternative way to create an object, then a class method is the perfect fit for that situation. It's all about the class. Finally, a static method, marked with @static method, is the most independent. It doesn't take self or CLS as an argument. It's basically a regular function that lives inside the class namespace, usually because it has a logical connection to the class. It cannot modify the state of an object or a class. You should use a static method when you have a utility function that relates to the class, but doesn't need to access any instance or class data to do its job. It's all about utility. Understanding these three types of methods is a game changer for writing clean, organized, and effective object-oriented code in Python. By choosing the right type of method for the task at hand, you make your intentions clear to anyone else who reads your code. It adds a layer of structure that makes your programs easier to understand, debug, and maintain in the long run. So next time you're building a class, take a moment to think about what your methods need to do, and you'll know exactly which type to choose. Thanks for watching.